Hey, this is Flash, and I am the Squatter Hunter. I am so excited about being able to do this. I'm, I've been looking forward to doing something like this to where I can actually communicate with the subscribers, with people that have problems without having to go on to and do a Zoom consultation. This gives you an opportunity to ask me questions, and it gives me an opportunity to share my experience through other stories and help you maybe with your system just through watching a quick video. Today I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about cameras, the importance of cameras. I'll go into like what's happening with my upcoming TV show, and then I may introduce the protection plans, our home protection plans that I launched on September 1st. And then I want to talk about, squatters and tenants and why they need to be treated the same, regardless of, your situation, squatter or tenant. You need to treat them the same. And then we'll get to some questions and answers, and you can ask me questions on chat. Chat is open to all subscribers today, so feel free to ask me questions, chime in, make a comment, whatever you'd like, and I will do my very best to answer any questions that I see and I'm able to today. So if you have a in-depth situation that you really want some personal input or advice on, I suggest you schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. But you know what? This is exciting for me. This is because no matter where I am, I'm traveling across the United States doing this every week. And between my show and everything, this is going to get me, the opportunity to be able to communicate with you no matter where I am, whether it's on my iPad, my phone, my desktop. Today, I just happen to be on my desktop, and so you can see a couple things behind me on the wall. So basically, I want to just say thank you guys. Thank you for joining me. And I'm going to just get right back into it. I'm going to tell you, very first thing I want to say is the importance of cameras when you're dealing with anyone. And this can probably go, you could probably say it's important no matter what you're doing. If you are, if you think that there's going to be some sort of drama in your life, regardless if it's a tenant, a squatter, a person, in the parking lot, you've got phones. Everyone has a phone nowadays. It's easy to pull out a phone and hit video. So I recommend videoing everything. I do not interact with anyone without video when it comes to the squatter stuff. Whether I'm talking to a homeowner, there's video. When I'm talking to a tenant, there's video. When I'm talking to a squatter, there's video. So I'm protecting myself and everyone around me by videoing everything, and I suggest you do the same thing. I have a couple cameras that I suggest, and there are pros and cons to them. First of all, I want to talk about the camera that I use personally, and this is the body cam that we wear. It's from Veripic. We wear them on our vest, and they are on the entire time that we are on scene. The beauty of Veripic cameras is that they are the same as what law enforcement wears, and you can, you do the video, plug it in, you don't edit it. It actually goes up into a locker, a storage locker that is a database that is stored for evidence. So, because it's uneditable at that point, it is stored. So if anything ever was to come back on you, you have video that it can actually be transferred to the court and used for your benefit to protect you. So this is the camera. Veripic is the company, and I recommend, if you're doing something like this, if you're opening another business and you want to do squatter stuff, Veripic would be the way to go. And you will be able to find a link on my website under products and pictures of this camera so that you can get yours. The other camera is what I started off with, and that is the GoPro. So the thing about the GoPro is it's mountable. We would wear a strap on our chest. That's how I started. The limits on GoPro is it's not, it is editable, so as far as like, being able to prove something in court, you have a little bit of limitations. The other thing that I found with GoPro, and I had somebody recently just write me about an issue they had with it. GoPro is great for action filming, and and you're going to go on a surfboard or a skateboard or a bike or mountain biking, things like that. But that is for like short periods of time. What I found with GoPro is that when I'm on a scene and I'm there for an hour and I need filming, I need video going the entire time, what I found is that the GoPro would shut off. GoPros have a tendency when in long, prolonged periods of recording, overheating and shutting off. And that's exactly what this homeowner just told me happened to him this past Sunday. So, but in a pinch, a body cam of any sort is going to be better than no camera at all. And again, your phone, simply hold your iPhone. I have an iPhone here somewhere. Simply hold your iPhone up and video that interaction. So, all right, now my TV show. We are in pre-production. We've been going and filtering through a bunch of squatter situations in New York and Texas and in Nevada. And the beauty of the show, and some people ask me, why in the world do I need a TV show? YouTube's a great format, but the TV show, having a network actually pay for us to go and do this, that enables me to help more people. It enables me to help them for free. And it's enabling me to be able to go in and help those who wouldn't normally be able to afford to fight. There are a lot of people that are stuck with non-paying tenants or squatters that have been stuck with them for years, months or years, because they've run out of resources and they just can't afford to fight. So I'm looking for those people. I'm looking for those elderly people, and I want to be able to help them. And having network pay me not only helps me do that, but it also gives me another format that I can share about squatters and the problems and the laws. So that's why I'm doing the TV show. And what I love about this and live streaming is that I can literally be on a scene with a squatter, and Tuesday at 6 p.m. rolls around and I flip the camera on and be like, here I am. I'm here at so-and-so, whatever, and I'm dealing with squatters, and you will be able to join me live, whatever location I am, on Squatter Talk Tuesdays, 6 p.m. So I'm excited. I'm extremely excited about that. So, I appreciate you guys joining me, and I hope this takes off. I'm dedicated to commit to 6 p.m. Tuesdays to do Squatter Talk live. So now the other thing I wanted to mention before we get to questions is September 1st, I launched home protection plans. They're like when you buy a house, there's a maintenance protection plan so that you pay an annual fee, then there's like a deductible. So what I decided when, I had a bunch of people asking me like, how can I protect their homes? Well, this is how. So what I did was I came up with a squatter protection plan and a tenant protection plan to protect against non-paying tenants. Each of them have a little bit of different requirements, but both of them guarantee that I will be able to get your squatter out for free, I will be able to get your tenant out for free, or you'll get the money you invested back. Now, those plans allow me to bring thousands of homeowners together to fight the fight that homeowners right now are having to fight by themselves. So check out on squatterhunters.com. You can go into products. You can go into services, and you can read all about the squatter and tenant protection plans. So, I'm excited about that stuff. I'm just, this is a horrible, horrible situation that a lot of us are dealing with. And the fact that I can make a difference means so much to me. And I'm just excited. I'm excited to be able to share every new thing with you. And that's what doing live is going to let me do. So I'm just absolutely excited about that. So, all right, now a squatter tenant topic that I want to do at least one every single live. So tenants and squatters, although you might be looking at your squatter and in your mind, you are thinking they are not a squatter. I mean, they are not a tenant. Okay. And you don't want to treat them like tenants, and you want to, in your brain, you feel like they don't deserve rights. Well, bottom line is you may be right, but they do have those rights and there's nothing you can do about it. So the sooner you figure out that you as a landlord or you as a homeowner has to treat the squatter and the tenant the same, the better off you're going to be. It's going to keep you out of jail, okay? And it's going to help you get further along, because if you waste a bunch of time trying to treat squatters like squatters and call the police and do all this stuff, and you're just spinning your wheels because it's not going to do any good, okay? And what I mean by that is every state has tenant rights. Every state has tenant laws. Not every state has squatter laws. However, the states that don't have squatter rights have tenant rights, and squatters have actually figured out a way to take over tenant rights. So you are going to have to treat them like a tenant. Now, that means that you are not allowed to do certain things. You are not allowed to lock them out illegally. An illegal lockout, as you've seen on the news probably already, will land you in jail. So you cannot lock them out. You know, the other thing that you can't do for a squatter or a tenant is you can't say anything about them. You can't spread rumors about them. You can't do anything yourself to keep them from renting another place in the future. Okay. Now, the beauty of it, and the reason I'm happy about it, is because the law allows me to do that. So I have a national database that I'm creating on my website, squatterhunters.com, to where you can submit the information for your non-paying tenant and your squatters, and I will be posting a list so that anyone can type in their name on Google, go onto my website, type in their name, see a picture of them, a location, and they don't have to fall victim to your squatter or your non-paying tenant in the future. Okay. So yes, I'm excited about that because I'm going to do something about it. The other thing that I can do that you can't do is I reach out to them. I have a system and a plan to where I will get your squatters out or your non-paying tenants out simply by telling them I'm going to expose them, reaching out to their employers, reaching out to their family members. Another thing that you can't do legally as the homeowner and as the landlord. Okay. Now, does it work for everyone? It doesn't work for everyone. They have to have something to lose, or a job, or something, some reason to not be, some reason to not be, found out about, right? So concerned that they're going to have to rent another place, something like that. I just think that doing this will aid you not only to try to get your squatter out or your non-tenant, but think about this. You start the civil process and they go through every single avenue and every single loophole, every single filing to try to extend the process. So now you are spending money. You have hired an attorney, and that attorney does a filing, and then they file, and then they get an extension, and they keep doing this. Now, these squatters and these non-paying tenants, they absolutely know the law, and they know that there is nothing that you can do about it. And when they get out, whether they're evicted or not, there's nothing you can do to stop them from doing it to somebody else. So you contact us, you do a consultation with me, and then I add to your civil process, because now your attorney is trying to negotiate a settlement. And at the same time, I reach out to them and say, it is against the law for the homeowner to do this to you, but it's not against the law for me. So, that's another thing I'm excited about, because the reactions are pretty great when they realize that, now you have another tool to fight with. And now the negotiations go a little bit more in your favor. They're more willing to move out, and you don't have to pay them to get them out, okay? Because they are benefiting now from getting out before I expose them. So that's just another option that I can offer you. So, I'll open up. I look like I have a bunch of comments. I'm going to go through here. If there are any questions, I will, answer them. Let's see here. Rebellion says the film crew probably helped shame the squatter too. Think about this. You have camera guys, a couple camera guys, a bunch of security guys, you got lights, you got all this stuff going on. And, we surprise them and interrupt them in the middle of, dinner or whatever it is. And they're expecting a nice, quiet night at home, right? And we go in there with a full film crew. And so I'm sure that they're feeling pretty shameful. So Raindrops, thank you. Al Gore, thank you. And Bob P, totally makes sense. Love that you get to help homeowners and focus on that. You know what, Bob? It's so rewarding. And I'll tell you what, I said it in the pre-live. The thank yous are so important to me, because there are so many things in life that are thankless. And, the fact that the only way that I know sometimes that I'm actually making a difference in someone's life is if they just, to just wake up in the morning and just have someone thanking me, makes all the difference in the world. And, we all have days where we struggle at, getting out of bed, and it's like, and in those days, it just helps me fight a little bit more. Jessica, cool times. It's also a great way to educate people. We are learning so much from you. I can't wait for your TV show. I know you'll want to hear our story. It's crazy. Jessica, I believe you sent me a message earlier on YouTube. So I definitely want to hear your story, and I'd love to do a Zoom consultation with you. Let's see. I'm sorry if I mispronounce. So Khalid Zakaria. Hey, how you doing, man? And then Sean Smith looks like. Hi back. Smoky Stormwind. Let's see. Outside the box of Flash, did you see the Airbnb squatter that Asian Andy and SJC moved in with and tortured until she left? She was a serial squatter. You know what? I've had a couple people recently reach out to me about this Asian Andy guy. And, up until a few days ago, I didn't know who it was. I was, I haven't seen anything. I was just hoping that he was doing, that he was kind of doing his own thing. But the more I hear about it, I'm going to have to watch, because it sounds like a lot of the stuff that I've talked about in the media, they're mimicking. So I don't know how I feel about that, but I will. I'll have to go and check it out and see if it's entertaining. And I was just hoping that they had fresh ideas to come to the table with, so I could learn from them. So because more people need to do this, and I love that I'm the original. I love that I brought the attention to squatters, and that I made it possible for people to literally open up businesses doing something. So it's pretty amazing, and I'm pretty proud of that. Kimmy, thanks for the good work, sir. I appreciate it, Kimmy. Thank you. Okay, so someone sent me Andy, Asian Andy Films, Smokey. Thank you. Yeah, so these are all comments. Brian McDonald here. Why do squatters have any rights? It's breaking and entering and property theft. You know, that's the question that I asked from day one. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. And it comes down to, you know, I've talked about the fact that squatter laws and tenant laws, squatter rights and tenant laws, it's the blur between them that needs to be fixed. And that's why they have rights. So changing the laws are only going to be helpful if we remove that blurred line. There has to be squatters, breaking and entering, property theft, and tenants that actually sign a lease with the intent to pay rent. So until we get rid of that blur, we're always going to have that problem with squatters having rights and that they don't deserve. You know, I did a video recently and I titled it, you know, squatters' rights aren't their rights. Well, that's what it meant. Flash, what laws are hurting people the most? Rebellion, what laws are hurting people the most? Well, you know what? I can't even say it's there. There are a lot of laws that are hurting people. If I just stick with squatters, I would say the thing that hurts them the most is that there's no restitution, there's no penalty, there's no fine. That you know, homeowners can go through this fight of their lives, lose their homes, and the squatter just picks up and moves to the next person with no fine, no penalty, no jail time. That part of this law is, I believe, what's hurting people the most. You know, let's see, another one about you know, Asian Andy. Do you find that people, this is from Kim B, do you find that people that are selling their homes and put it for sale sign in their yard kind of opens up a squatter? You know, it certainly doesn't help. You know, squatters that see a vacant home, they see a sign in the yard. I think it definitely opens the door for them, and it tells them that the house is vacant in some cases. You know, personally, you know, if there's a way to get around posting it in a yard, which there are now, I would absolutely avoid putting signs in the yard. You know, I mean, there's a whole lot of protection things that you can do to protect yourself. But you know, maybe I'll do a video about those signs and make it a little bit more clearer than I can do right now. So thank you, Kim B. Crystal, vacant house during the sale. What can I do? I'm out of state now. The house is in California. What's your suggestion? So, I mean, do you have, I would say cameras, put up cameras that you can monitor from afar, set an alarm system, even though the house is vacant, set up Wi-Fi, make sure that you have Wi-Fi going on, and make sure you can absolutely, if someone enters that home, you know, right at that moment, because they will not be able to establish themselves as a squatter as long as you catch them entering. So cameras and an alarm system, all which you can monitor from your phone, and have an alarm with you know, armed, you know, response. Have when the alarm goes off, a patrol shows up and they get arrested. That would be what I would advise to you right now. So thank you, Crystal, for that. Clam Heaven, what is your main source of income? Just curious. Well, you know, I'm the founder of the United Handyman Association, so I do make a little bit of income from there. I've been in, you know, business for 40 years. So you know, I've worked, you know, I worked my entire life. I started my business when I was 16 years old, my first handyman business, and then became a contractor. So, you know, but you know, the squatter stuff, I do draw a little bit of income from that. So I kind of grab from, you know, I try to throw I try to throw as much as I can back into everything to build. So, for example, the association, for the first 5 years, I donated back everything I did so that I could build the association. And I'm doing the same thing for Squatter Hunters, because I feel like I'm building for future. And as long as I can get by today, then I'm okay. And when I get a TV show, that'll help. So thank you, Clam, for that question. Jessica, I'm glad. So just send an email to consultation@squatterhunters.com, and you'll get an auto reply, and let's set up that consultation with Jessica. Thank you. Susan, let's see. Would you put the name, website for your squatters list here in the comments on the screen? Yes, if in the very first comment before you logged on, I will put it again, but in the very first comment, I put squatterhunters.com, and I will put the email to send details is so sorry, my typing. It's submit at, and I'm writing it right now, submit at squatterhunters.com. What do they call it? Peck and whatever, right? Okay. So submit at squatter, and I spelt it right. Awesome. Okay, so squatterhunters.com, you'll see it, and then I just also put the email in the comments. All right, so let's see here. Okay, okay. Smokey, it was one-off case. That must be talking about the Asian dude, Asian Andy. Let's see. P. Bureau. So can squatters come after you for harassment? The thing is that I'm not harassing them. I'm doing things in a way that, I'm informing them. I'm giving them an opportunity to stay off my list. I'm giving them an opportunity to avoid what the law allows me to do. In no way do I harass them. If you have to be very careful, going into a home and what you're doing with them, because yes, they can easily just, file a complaint, harassment, get a restraining order. So I'm very calculated and very careful on how we proceed. The other thing that I do is one of the things that sets me aside from everyone else is that I'm working alongside law enforcement. So, we don't enter a home without having the backing of law enforcement, and they already know we're there. They have our list of procedures, and we have endorsement. So that's kind of what my popularity has given me, and I went that route instead of just doing it on my own. So I've had people try to claim I'm harassing, but they would have to show evidence of harassment. Me just telling them this is what I'm doing, that's not harassment. So they can take me up on it, or if they don't, I do what I say I'm going to do, and that's it. Let's see here. Let's see. Rebellion, LOL. I don't know if you'd call them fresh. Please write back and tell me what you're referring to. Let's see. Light Ventures, the only thing I can think of is Asian Andy, if they're fresh ideas. I think I mentioned that. Light Ventures, what would you say are good squatter prevention tips? Okay, you know what? I've got the prevention videos that I have up right now. I can say are cameras. Number one, cameras. Make sure that you have cameras that are hooked up to Wi-Fi that you can view from your phone or anything else, any other device from any location in the world. The other thing is an alarm system. Okay, alarm system. And then, a lot of people will say no trespassing signs. Okay, there's somebody that does a video, says, yeah, put up a no trespassing sign and take a picture of it. Well, you know what? That doesn't work. Put up a no trespassing sign and register that no trespassing sign with your local law enforcement. That works. So most departments, you can go online and register a no trespass sign so that if a squatter comes out and rips that sign down, you're still protected. So those are the three things right now. Locking mailboxes to prevent people from sending mail to the residents, to be able to show proof of residence. And we talked earlier about, signs in the yard, avoiding putting timers, light timers, things like that, to make it appear as though somebody's there. If you're taking your only car, ask a friend to park their car in your driveway. Do something to make people think that your house is occupied before they occupy it. Let's see here. Finally, an unscripted reality show that actually helps people. My business partner, Chris, is blown away by your service and knowledge. Jessica, thank you. I appreciate that. Brian agreed to what I said earlier. Sorry, it's like it doesn't attach things. So some things I probably shouldn't read, but I'm learning. Here we go. I'm just curious. Here's a question. I'm just curious, if the homeowner can't do it and you can, have you had situations where squatters try to come back after you but failed? Yes. Well, they didn't try to come back after me. They tried to go after the homeowner and they failed because, I supplied video evidence. I supplied evidence of communications that prove that, the squatter agreed to leave and that, it was done without the homeowner involvement. So they can't really go after the homeowner. If somebody comes after me, they're going to have to prove that I kicked them out. And keep in mind, at no point am I ever grabbing someone and kicking them out. I am giving them the opportunity to leave these houses. Safe, ethical, and and humane. So they really have nothing to come back after me for. So, but you know what? I'm sure that we live in a world of people suing everybody. So I'm sure it's the story isn't over. So thanks for that question. Here's Smokey. If you can get the neighbors to agree not to call police on you for noise complaints, you can deprive the squatters of sleep. Yes, you can certainly do that. If they prove that, however, that would be when they can get you for harassment. So I would be personally careful of that because, maybe spurts, but all they have to do is record you playing music, and now they have harassment that they call the police at 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's see. Wi-Fi can be bypassed by turning the power off. Make sure cameras have some sort of battery in them. You should lock your panels. You should make sure that make sure that they don't have easy access to the panel, and that they're seen on a camera accessing the panel, because batteries, I suggest, and on my website, the cameras that are under my products link, they're battery cameras. So they typically last me around 3 to 4 months, and they're on every day. And, so have a camera. If your electrical panel is easily accessible, then have a camera that, that shows them accessing the electrical panel. So, well, guys, we are running out of time, and I didn't get to all of your questions, but let me see if I can answer a little bit more. I'm trying to keep these lives about 30 minutes, just so others will want to go on and watch it. Also, the video version. Let's see here. Can we put a camera on the property or in the house right now? Jessica, yes, you can, but I'm hesitant to say that because I don't know your total situation. So if you put one in there prematurely and you've got a squatter or somebody, they're just gonna break it, get rid of it. So hello. Thank you. Susan, have you ever thought about creating a squatter's insurance? I have one. So I mentioned that towards the beginning of this live. On squatterhunters.com, I have a squatter prevention membership program for both squatters and non-paying tenants. Okay, so each of them, they're a little bit different, but it is tailored for me to prevent your squatters and be able to get them out. If by chance you were to get a squatter or a tenant stopped paying. So squatterhunters.com, I've created that squatter's insurance that you're talking about. Thank you, Susan, for bringing that up. What is your price to use our service to remove the squatters? Well, that price varies. It's typically, on my website, it says 1,000 to 20,000, but I haven't had anything go to the 20,000 range, but it, pretty much starts at, I do have an intervention for like 350. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard. And that's why another reason why I do, these consultations so that I can work up a price for you. Let's see here. Let me try to find somebody I haven't talked about already. All right. So let's see here. I've been watching some shows from the UK that show squatters and people who won't pay their rent, and huge problem out there. You know what? I have been consulting in the UK, and maybe one day Squatterhunters will move to other countries, because I've been consulting in about 5 countries right now, and this is a worldwide problem. All right, so I'm going to sign off now. I thank everyone for joining me. I hope that these lives take off and we build a big audience. And, I love that I can communicate with you here instead of just, I try to answer comments as much as I can. Every day I answer comments on YouTube because I love that interaction, but the live just gives me right then at that moment interaction. So thank you guys. This is Flash. Be safe now. See you soon.